All right, let's talk about trades. So let's just go over what I did today, step by step. So step number 1, SLV. So SLV, I have a swing position and wake up to obviously really nice gains. And I'm seeing with the higher open, my short position on SPY, I'm losing money. But I'm making money in silver, gold, my MSOS position, the bullish MJ, and those obviously offset the SPY weakness. So woke up to a 3-day maker and account at all-time highs. You know, not a huge move up, but 3-day makers, keeping those steps going. And I want to preserve those gains. I don't want to give them back. I don't want my 3-day maker to go down to a 2-day maker or a 1.5-day maker because silver sees consolidation after such a massive hype open. So I set my stop loss under 27 for my SLV position. At that point in time, I'm watching 2 things. I'm watching the spot price, well, 3 things, SPY as well, and it was fairly correlated to SPY. But I'm watching the spot price of silver, and I am watching SLV, and I'm watching SPY. So at that point in time, I saw the rejection from resistance. And it's notable here, this is why I'm watching both. SLV broke the high of pre-market. Silver spot price did not. Why is there the disconnect? In my opinion, because there's so much attention on SLV, the influx of demand for shares led to some brief disconnection from the correlation between silver, and it essentially got a premium attached to it because there was so much demand for shares. So that's why it's important, because this is a clear rejection from resistance to me. And as soon as that happens, and as soon as I see this kind of pullback, red flag. Just say, okay, inability to break resistance. And that shows me with the volume behind it, the bears are jumping in short, top fishing resistance, and bulls are bailing on the inability to see continuation. So I saw this pullback. I sat through the pullback. 29.03 key support, we bounced right off of it. And I said, okay, that is enough of a clear support level for me. And SLV bounced right off its 27 psychological low of pre-market. So that's enough for me, where I'm just putting my stop under that level, because if it breaks from here, it's a confirmed 5-minute downtrend after a double top rejection of resistance. And we could see hourly and 4-hour consolidation from there. And again, I want to protect those gains. So first things first, swing position, stop under 27. That's how I started my morning. I'm doing all this while I was live streaming. From there, I sold silver SLV short. Why didn't I just sell my long? For my brain, it's a lot easier to compartmentalize and stay organized when I have a position in my swing account and a position in my day trade account, because they have different time frames, they have different goals. And I saw this drop and I said, okay, what's the most likely scenario? Are we going to V-shape from 27 and break that resistance level to a higher high? Or are we going to set a 5-minute lower high and at best equilibrium? So I anticipated that 5-minute lower high. So as I was live streaming, I was saying, I'm sitting here, I want to see the price get to 27.60 to enter a short position and just put my stop over the high. And the short position is the same size as my long swing position. So essentially it's like locking in my long gains at that point. So I saw us stutter here and slow down. I said, I don't want to miss it. I'm just entering short. I went short at 27.40. And that profit cushion from this trade allows me that freedom. If I'm starting the day with a fresh, clean slate and I have no profit on the day, maybe I probably missed that trade. I probably wait for the trade to come to me. It doesn't, and I don't make an entry. But I was a bit more aggressive. I waited for it to come to me. It stalled out. I entered at 27.40, and we then rolled over and broke the low of the day. So as soon as 27 breaks, my long stops out at 26.97, and here's my short entry, 27.40, and I'm now in that short. So I locked in my long essentially at this level, exited the long, and now making money on the short. So I exited half of that short into that weakness, sold at 26.77, which is a solid 2% gain. And then on the second half, well, there's a GME trade in there, but let's just finish the silver trade. We'll go to GME next. So from there, I have a second position to cover. 5-minute oversold conditions. After a massive breakout, if you're going to see strength and follow through, 5-minute oversold conditions is our back burner trade. So I am in a bear mindset, but I'm looking at this saying, okay, well, if I'm a bull, I'm buying first 5-minute oversold conditions here. So I exited the second half at 26.50, 53, which was a 4+% gain. So a big solid gain on that trade short. We're essentially, I guess you could say, 2.5 to 3% average for that gain. And then I re-entered half of my bullish position at 26.33, which ended up being a great re-entry for the 5-minute oversold bounce follow through. So made money on the short, re-entered half the long, maybe 3% lower. And I am still looking to re-enter the second half, but I'm being very patient. And I was going to look to enter on this hourly high or low, but heading into the overnight session, I just said, I don't need to push it. If we open higher, great, I'm going to make some profit. And I'm going to be patiently waiting to get a spot where I like that re-entry. But because of the profit on the short and then the re-entry of the long, I could re-enter at any point here and still be ahead of where I would be if I just didn't make any of these trades. So really pleased with how I managed this trade. And that's new for me. I'm not often swing trading a position and then day trading in opposing directions to manage it. So that went well. The GME trade was very straightforward. And you have to be extremely cautious on these Reddit plays for sure, without a doubt. And if you lack discipline, this is the kind of trade that can blow up your month or your half a year or your year. So you have to ensure that you put a stop on every single trade. And technical analysis still works. My best trades have been playing bounces on this name. I went over one recently where we dropped into pre-market into the open, and I won't even go over that. But this one was a significant drop into 5-minute oversold conditions. I didn't want to catch a falling knife, so I didn't scale into that. I saw the size of this bounce. I saw the volume behind it. I said, that's a sizable bounce. I know we're just looking for a lower high. There's our EMA 12 rejection. I'm going to make an entry for a higher low and just stick my stop under 212. I'm going to use a position size that is allocating risk where if I stop out, no biggie, less than a day loser. And as the price pulled back, I'm not waiting for the 5-minute higher low to be set. I'm entering into the weakness knowing that it's an acceptable risk. So I entered at 226. Nope, wrong one. I entered at 2. GME, 226.77. So enter at 226.77. My risk, assuming if I get stopped out, I'll get stopped out at 210. So $17 of risk. Good to go. Stuck my stop, which I later canceled, but there's my stop at 209.99, giving a little bit of wiggle room under the low of the day. We then bounce and confirm a 5-minute trend change. As soon as that happens, I zoom out, and I anticipate the most likely scenario is a 15-minute lower high. So I exit into that bounce. And again, a lot of newer traders are going to be looking at that and saying, yes, we finally changed the 5-minute trend. This is what I've been waiting for. Wait a second, why aren't we getting follow through? You have to zoom out because a trend change on one time frame very often just means look for the lower high in the longer term time frame. So I exited half of that position. I pulled my stop and exited half of the position at 259.17. So risk was 17 cents. I exited half of my position plus $32. So that's pretty much a 2-to-1 risk to reward. And then I gave it some more time to play out. And I said, all right, I'm going to wait for a loss of the 2-minute uptrend to exit the second half of the position. And then this candle right here, I did not like the size of that 2-minute pullback. Could have sold on that lower high, but I just exited to lock in those gains. And the second half was 262. So average was in the 261s, which essentially is a 2-to-1 risk to reward, which is exactly what I look for, at least on every day trade. So again, the number one thing for me trading these Reddit names is I don't care at all leaving money on the table. And I can't reiterate that enough. I know it might be hard for some newer traders to understand how that just is not even a feeling that exists in my body when I'm trading these names. For me, it's just the money that I leave on the table is so much less important than the money that I put in my pocket. Because if I didn't take profit there, we fade all the way back towards my entry and I don't get the win. Instead, I get a day maker on top of an already really nice day, and it's just those base hit mindset. So as long as these Reddit names have volatility, I will day trade them to the style of trading that has worked for me over years to develop consistency. And I'm not going for home runs. I'm not taking on any extra risk. It's always a close stop level nearby, and it's just jumping on the Tesla volatility to day trade for a few weeks, jumping on the NIO volatility. What's next? I'm going to look over here. Now it's silver. I find a name, I stick with it as long as there's volatility, I get to know it, and then when that volatility disappears, my dollar trading on Tesla when it was volatile versus the last month is a night and day difference, because I'm not trading Tesla while it was in that sideways range between 800 and 880. I'm trading it when it's in these multiple $100 ranges when the opportunity is most significant. I've talked enough this video. Felt like a good one. Hope it was helpful. Do good things. See you tomorrow.
Daniel just dropped a PayPal. Daniel says, do good things, and dropped $100.
Holy cow, what the heck? What the heck in Hooba Haba? Daniel, thank you for the $100. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna take that $100 and I'm gonna help pay for the repair of EJ's hearing. EJ, I would like to, if you cut your ears off, you let me know. I'm gonna send you some money because I know you're gonna need some Band-Aids for your ear, my friend. I don't want you going Van Gogh style, baby. Yeah. Oh, Daniel, thank you for the $100. Daniel, thank you for the $100. Daniel, thank you for the $100. Daniel, thank you for $100. Oh, Daniel, thank you for the $100. Daniel,